I want to briefly talk about something. And this is Tyree Nichols person. And to be honest with you, I have yet to look at that video. The Shanquilla, whatever her name is, Robinson, I have not looked at her video being attacked, beaten. And there might be some other ones that I did not catch that I just do not want to look at. And here's why. I already know the programming. I already know what they want to program into the brain of people around the world, and brown people, but just people around the world, because they are also programming in the minds of people around the world to see a certain group of people a certain way. So it's not just to disturb the brown people, but it's also to put a program into people's minds around the world to have a particular way of thinking about brown people. And when I say a particular, it's not thinking that they are nothing but thugs. It's not thinking that brown people are lazy. It's about seeing them be killed live. Do you know how many people around the world are killed, but yet nobody shows that on worldwide television, like worldwide media? It could be thousands of people a day that might die in Afghanistan, I don't know. And you'll just see maybe stuff on the news or whatever, or just maybe wars that's going on. But you will not see one particular person that's just got beaten down to a bloody pulp, and they put it all over the world for everybody to see. And one person after the other, just showing this person to somebody all over the world. They're showing, number one, I'm gonna show you, they're showing the brown male as a defenseless victim. And they're showing the brown male as a defenseless victim, that he cannot do anything for himself. Just like brown women felt like the gates was open for them to be attacked by anybody during a lot of the, bashing. I'm not going to say during a lot of the bashing on YouTube alone, because it's always been bashing. So just like brown women felt like the gates was open for anybody to come in and just disrespect the brown women, I want to say this and make this clear when I say that. Brown women have to get it in their mind, and I say this in all complete understanding of that it's not as easy as it sounds, because I constantly work on myself. So I say this in complete understanding that it's not easy. But here's what I'm saying about brown women. Can't nobody open the gates to disrespect you if you don't want anybody to open the gates to disrespect you. You can be a single woman with I don't know how many kids. If you are determined that you are going to do whatever you are going to do and nothing is going to stop you, no matter what anybody else think, nobody can open the gates to disrespect you if you are determined not to be disrespected. And I say this with complete understanding, because I done had some spiritual stuff going on. So I'm talking about even in the spiritual. Because you can be in your ego and physically be determined to do whatever, but that's a big ego, and sometimes egos can lose. So I always mean to be determined in your ego, although sometimes a big ego can win battles. But the ego world is coming to an end, so that's not going to work out any longer. The ego world is coming to an end, and you're getting more into a spiritual type of system. So that big ego has to come down, or else the person, and you know what, it's not about being a mean person, about a person who don't want to listen, or a person with a lot of pride. That's how people keep describing the ego, as having characteristics that's like characteristics like pride, anger, and just, not really thinking clearly, not having emotional intelligence. Some people can call that the ego, but you can have some people that are might be quite level-headed and still could be full of ego. Because ego is not always necessary about a particular characteristic. It's basically a program. Like the ego is basically like a program. Your program is a bunch of programs, like computer programs. The brain is a computer, So anyway, and that's kind of where your ego mind is. Like that's the ego brain. It's being controlled. Actually, the brain, in a way, is controlled by other entities. So you're not necessarily in control of the brain. You think that you feel these feelings, but it's not really yours. So I wanted to get that out the way. So I say this in complete understanding that no matter what these guys went on YouTube and said, it's because brown women, a lot of them went against others who tried to defend themselves, who tried to defend other brown women. You had lots of brown women who did not want to be defended. That's what opened the gates for them to be beat and attacked by everyone, because they felt like these men had a right to disrespect them. I'm going to use an example like when Dolores C. Tucker, I talk about her probably a million times, and I'll probably talk about her a million more times. See Dolores Tucker, who waged war against gangster rap. She waged war against gangster rap. She was against the disrespectful lyrics towards women and just the promotion of crime and just a whole lot of other stuff, over sexuality and all that stuff. That was what her war was against. Disrespect of women, disrespect of children, the over sexuality and the crime and the drugs and all that stuff. And you had women, when they had some kind of press conference or whatever they had, like it was a lady it was a young woman on a microphone that probably was born in the late 70s or something. Probably born in the late 70s or, like a Generation X, but closer to a millennial, okay, who kind of grew up on that music. She was like kind of going back and forth with C. Dolores Tucker, defending these guys' right to disrespect her. She was like, it's a young lady, look like she might be in her 20s. Well, you didn't ask me if I didn't want that music to be played. I actually liked that music. This is what this lady said. She defended these guys' right to disrespect her. This is why the gates are open for brown women to get disrespected. Yeah, I get that if men don't want to protect their women, whatever, but you got to understand that it's always a girl, a female in that fetus anyway, until 3 months anyway. If women were really into their spirituality and really strong in the spirituality, would they really need a protection from what you would call a male? And I'm talking about because it's called a male in this ego world. Would women really need it if they were into their spirituality? And I'm talking about all groups of women. So anyway, that's just saying that. But the spell I'm seeing, because they keep showing these brown men being beat to death. They keep showing these brown men as defenseless. And then the programming is showing brown women constantly defending them. I know it makes brown women bad, but it also makes brown women look like they can't nobody really mess with them like that. It also makes brown women look like they a fight. People don't think that brown American men fight for themselves. When brown women are seen on television, I get that they look masculine, but they also look like they will fight for themselves. They look like they will fight for themselves. They look like they will fight for their community. That's what they look like on TV. But on TV, when they keep showing these brown men getting beaten down like that, constantly back and forth by cops or whoever they're getting beat down by, and they keep showing them in that kind of light, they look like they can't protect themselves. Brown women look like they can protect themselves, but the brown man look like he can't protect himself. And that's for the whole entire world to see. That looked like a spell to me. But also, like, what is in the minds of people to let the whole world, billions of people in the whole world, see a brown male getting beaten to death? What is that for? How many people get beaten to death and we don't see them on the camera being shown worldwide? How many people get beat to death and we don't see that? They constantly keep showing the brown American person, mostly the brown American male. It was questionable what Shanquilla Robinson was. I don't know, because I still have yet to tune into whatever that was, because I'm almost over what media is doing. I'm over what media is doing. Okay, I'm over it. I don't want to look at it. And it's not that I don't have guilty pleasures, because I have guilty pleasures to stop being so serious about things I deal with. And so I need to get into some guilty pleasures just to stop being so serious, because you get into your ego and when you're constantly being serious. It's like you want to kind of have fun a little bit. And so the things I watch, I just don't take seriously. It's just to have a load off. Anyway, That was what I wanted to say about that. I just you got to ask yourself. There are other people that have gotten beat down. When I first moved to LA, it was brown people that would always tell me when I would talk about the brown men, how they, I guess, constantly being a lot of police brutality, I guess, against the brown people. Like I would see brown people, I would say brown people around that time and brown men. And it was actually a woman that kept saying, a brown woman that kept saying, yeah, Latino men too, because she grew up in LA. She said Latino men. She kept correcting me, saying Latino men too, Latino men too, Latino men too. And this was a brown lady. I don't know if this was in Compton or where it was, but it was in LA. So that's letting me know that they are purposely just wanting to show a certain group of people around the world that's getting beaten down to death because it's happening to other people. But they're choosing not to program the minds of the world to see the Latino man get beat down to death because it happens to them too. They're choosing not to show the world that. They're choosing not to show the world the things that happen to people in other cultures. They're choosing not to show the world that. But they are choosing to show the world constantly the brown male and the brown American community. And it's literally an attack on the brown American community. Like, it's things going on around the world. There's things going on in Africa, South Africa, whatever, Jamaica. Fine, everybody has something going on. But there's definitely a more, I'm going to say the biggest spiritual attack is on the brown American community because the stuff that goes on with them is for the whole entire world to see. I know people say that Kenya is eating, like I listened to a lady, I know she said Kenya is eating and Kenya gets attacked because it's eating and it's biblical or whatever. The most attacked group of people spiritually is the brown American because I have not seen anybody else that get killed like that on camera and it's just shown for the whole entire world to see this person. And it's always somebody in the brown American community, mostly the male. Things happen to the brown woman too, but it's not for the whole world to see. And you know what? I'm glad. I realize that it needs to be exposed, but you know what? It's already been exposed. The question is, what are the brown women going to do about it? Because a lot of people know. I talk to white people who know. I talk to Asian people who know that brown women are killed a lot. Everybody knows. The question is, what are brown women going to do? It's up to brown women to do something about that. The first, they need to have a clear mind, okay? They need to clear their mind. Something is controlling their crown. I know. That's why they feel like they can't. They always have to defend the brown men. They can be beat in the face all day long and turn around and see a brown male attacked by a cop and she'll go and march. Even though she was beaten in the face and beaten down and kicked on her ribs the night before, she would still find some time to go out there and defend a brown male that was killed by a cop. Because something is going on with her crown. And this is not a judgment. I get it. Not about the brown male, but I get the thing with the crown. I get it with the crown because brown men are controlling brown women's crown. They are. And then they go out to mess with other groups of women like white women or whoever. They go sleep with those women and then they still somehow get to control brown women. So then they got other women controlling the crowns of brown women too. And so I get how deep it is for brown women. I get it. But you just got to do the work because I have to do the work. You just got to do the work. That's it. It's just no other way around. Then somebody else might come along to help you, but you got to do the work for yourself. It needs to be shown somewhere where you have a desire to come out of it. And then you will get a boost along the way, like you get help along the way, like you can see that in a movie. It's like the pursuit of happiness. It's just an example, okay? It's just an example. It's like the more you try, little bit by little bit, something comes along the way to help you because you're aggressive towards the goal of, doing stuff for yourself. But I know pursuit of happiness might have a different story, a cultic type of meaning, but I don't want to get into all of that stuff. I know it's something else going on with that movie, but still, that was an example. That was all I think I had to say for right now. I was thinking about something else, but I don't really feel like it's something worth recording right now. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking about. But I don't want to mix it in with this video. I'll make another upload about it. I'm just going to say briefly what it's about. A lot of people have nanobots and they think they thoughts belong to them. It's a lot of programming. Nanobots are real, and a lot of people have nanobots on them. A lot of people have nanobots, even if they're vegetarians, even if they're vegan, because it's not about being a vegetarian or vegan. You want to get into an area where there is not much internet or Wi-Fi to really shut off the nanobots. If you're in no matter how healthy you want to eat, that's why I eat what I eat, but I eat in moderation, right? But I definitely eat what I want to. I don't care what it is. Because that's not going to stop the nanobots. And too many nanobots get on you, you're almost like you're not a person anymore. You are a character, a program. And something else is controlling your reality because it's a whole lot of nanobots. So if you have a whole lot of nanobots on you and you're basically made up of nanobots, who's controlling you? Because you're not in control. But I was going to say something else when it comes to that. I won't mix it in this video because I started on a different subject. So that'll be it, and I'll talk later.